Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
I can kill him.
Halloween is directed by David Gordon Green and is the direct sequel to the 1978 movie of the same name. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis reprising the role of Laurie Strode as she faces off against serial killer Michael Myers. So for those who haven't been paying attention, brace yourselves. The original Halloween was released in 1978. Halloween 2 was released in 1981 and is the sequel to Halloween 1978. In 1982, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, was released, but it is not a sequel to Halloween 2 and has no ties to the Halloween universe. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, was released in 1988 and is the sequel to Halloween 2. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, was released in 1989 and is the sequel to Halloween 4. Halloween H2O was released in 1998 and ignores the events of Halloweens 3 through 5 and is a direct sequel to Halloween 2. In 2007, Rob Zombie rebooted the Halloween franchise with Halloween. In 2009, Rob Zombie directed the sequel to his Halloween, Halloween 2. Halloween, that is, this year's Halloween, ignores everything except the original 1978 Halloween and is, in spirit if not in name, the new Halloween 2. As bizarre as all of that is, I'm still baffled that they chose to call this one just Halloween. Now we have Halloween and its sequel, Halloween. Or is it the prequel? Which one are we talking about? Anyway, once again, I feel the trailers have done this movie a disservice by revealing too much. Almost all the kills are, if not shown, then very much implied between the two trailers. The only stuff we don't get a glimpse of via trailers is the stuff that doesn't matter, like pretty much everything to do with the granddaughter. Halloween centers around the relationship between Laurie Strode, Laurie's daughter Karen, played by Judy Greer, and Laurie's granddaughter Allison, played by Andi Matichak. The tension between Laurie and Judy is great, and I would love to have spent more time fleshing out the aftermath of Judy growing up with Laurie's paranoia. The little that we get is good, but I feel they could have done more with that. Maybe they realized that the situation they had created was way too Terminator 2, with Laurie and Judy as Sarah and John Connor, respectively. Instead, they chose to spend a hefty amount of time with the granddaughter, which, to me, almost felt like filler. So much so that there was a jilted lover at a dance scene that was almost exactly like a scene from Goosebumps 2 that I watched just 2 weeks ago. And just like Goosebumps 2's setup, this one never pays off. Best I can tell, the only reason Allison is in this movie at all is to give someone for Michael to terrorize as he's making his way towards Laurie. Not to put too fine a point on it, but Andi Matichak is 23, where Jamie Lee Curtis turns 60 next month. It just makes more sense to have the Allison character do the lion's share of the running and screaming. Speaking of running and screaming, while there are a few really good moments of ominous dread in this movie, it's not really scary. For one thing, it relies too heavily on jump scares, and once you realize that they're going to do that, you start to see them coming, which really tones down the scare factor. There's a fair bit of humor in Halloween, and as a result of that humor, the best scene in this movie, in my opinion, is during the second act where we get a babysitter scene. The kid in that scene, Julian, played by Jabril Nantambu, is absolutely hilarious. Unfortunately, in spite of, or maybe because of, how funny it is, it feels out of place and once again detracts from what should be a terrifying scene. Considering the genre and how over-the-top a lot of modern horror is, I was surprised by just how not gory Halloween was. There are a couple of scenes that might make the squeamish cringe, but most of the kills take place off-screen. Unfortunately, keeping in line with the genre, there are a plethora of straight-up illogical and just plain stupid decisions that make you want to throw stuff. Okay, they made me want to throw stuff. As far as David Gordon Green's directing goes, there is both really good and really bad in Halloween. There are some really good tension-building scenes and one excellent long take that I loved. Then there's all the jump scares and the disjointed and frankly confusing mess that takes place during the final showdown between Michael and Laurie. This is where Allison really feels like an afterthought. So is Halloween 2018 a worthy successor to Halloween 1978? It's better than Halloween 2 was, so yeah, I guess so. For me, I'd say it was pretty meh, and I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't what you would call scary, and nothing about Halloween stood out as being particularly interesting or original, though I admit that originality is pretty hard to come by in the slasher film genre. And that's my take on Halloween 2018. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week with another review.